Yo, what's happening, guys? Lingers here with another build video. This time I'm gonna bring you my Might munitions as we went back to a controller, as we just recently had a CR skip. So I recently made a new tank, so I changed this guy back to a controller as I already have a healer. So we got one of each now, so that's good. So yeah, well, let's jump into it, shall we? Let's start with the gear. So the gear I'm running, obviously I've got my elite gear. In terms of the white sockets, as everyone was asking for the white sockets in the previous video, we are running blast adapter. I have supercharged mounted turret. This is optional. Um, I'm quite liking this supercharge. You don't have to run this. You could run near venom boost if you wanted to. That's your other option. Or you could run big gun if you wanted to run the 10k ult. That's entirely up to you as well if you want to run them superchargers. Let's jump on through. So we got escalating might. This increases our might by 2% for 8 seconds. And then I have berserker in my back for additional damage whenever I drop to a lower health. Penetrating strikes for the ignorance of the defense and toughness on bosses and stuff. And then we take restorative chain gun. It gives us a little bit of a heal whenever we use chain gun. And then we have max damage and tumbling master. In terms of my artifacts, I am running strategist, transformation, and quizlet. The reason why I'm running these is I think these are just a solid base starter option. They're just good all around. You could run this on a prec build with these artifacts and you wouldn't have an issue. You know, I'm not trying to be the best on the board. I'm not trying to be the best player out there. I'm just making it easier for people what are new to the game, what don't quite understand the game. You know, and I'm just giving my information, what I know of the game, as I've played since beta. I'm just giving my information, what I know, and if it helps in some shape or form, cool. In terms of our backup and our trinket and stuff, we got Alfred box. I've got a might and precision buff trinket. We got a supply drop and a orbital strike. In terms of art swapping, if you want to, I don't really art swap like that, but if you want to, I would say drop Quizlet for the Dead Kim Scepter whenever you're doing your backup stuff, and then switch it back. I've explained that before in another video. I don't really play this game enough, hence why I've still got 160 arts and stuff since the last video. I just kind of play for fun, but if you got all these to 200, you're gonna do some good damage. I can reassure you that. So let's jump into the allies. So in terms of the allies, I am running the same as what I was running before. So we are running Superman, Zod, and Static. So with Zod, we take Warrior's Resolve. That increases our might consistently while we're in combat. Our power regeneration is slower, but because you have controllers and that, it's not too bad. And to be fair, munitions isn't that expensive, so you can normally get quite a few rotations out before you're out of power anyway. So it's not typically a huge problem. And then obviously we take electric overcharge. What that does is whenever we drop our supercharge, we get extra critical damage and critical chance. So it does extra additional damage, pretty much. So yeah. So this is the build what we're running. Let's jump into the loadout here. So I have shrapnel grenade. Excuse me. So I have shrapnel grenade launcher. What this does is this is two things. So it does a DOT. Adds burning enemies take also vulnerable damage, and it also adds a DOT. Second thing it does is it's a supercharged generator. So It allows us to get supercharged back quicker, so that's handy. Next one we have is chain gun. So when enemies are burning, this also burns enemies, making them more vulnerable to burning effects, so they take additional damage. And then we take 5-barreled minigun. The reason why I take 5-barreled minigun is I'm not a big fan of railguns. I mean, you could take railguns if you wanted to. I just think 5-barreled minigun just comes out a little bit better and sounds better, and that's just my preference, you know. But if you wanted to swap out, you could swap it for railgun. If you didn't want to run railgun, you could run rocket launcher. That would be another good option. But yeah, I take 5-barreled minigun. I just prefer it. And then I take small package. You're probably wondering, why the hell are you taking a finisher on your build? Why not? You know, it does good damage. It's handy in boss fights. This is literally just one loadout. I don't switch loadouts. I literally just run this one loadout throughout the whole entire raid. I don't switch. So this is why I run this. I mean, I can switch. I'm lazy, dude. I don't want to switch, right? So I mean, if you're like me and you're lazy and you don't want to switch, this is the one to do. And then you take mini nuke. So, you know, if I was gonna switch and I knew that I was gonna switch, I'd probably just put railguns here. You know, that's personally what I would do. But yeah, we don't. We run this instead. So let's jump in. Let's jump into a little rotation here. So we go left to right. So we do shrapnel grenade, chain gun, 5-barrel minigun, small package, and then we drop minigun. Right? And it's rinse and repeat. I mean, the numbers aren't bad, man. I mean, we've already hit 2K, 2.2K, look. Well, 2.2 mil, sorry. Imagine hitting 2.2K. It would be great, would it? There's a 2.6 mil. 2.7 mil. I think we hit around about 2.8, 2.9 at a height. Without supercharging. Yeah, there's a 3.2. There's a 3.2 mil right there, dude. So as you can see, we're hitting over 3 mil, which is good. It's always good to hit over 3 mil without supercharges. I'm just gonna hit my supercharge once. I want to see what the numbers do on this supercharge. So here you go. This is we're gonna wait until that's all fully stopped. Looks like it's fully stopped, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit my supercharge. So you can see that was just a parade of madness right there. And we're gonna see what that hit for. So that hit for 1.5 million just on the supercharge, dude. My supercharge hit for 1.5 mil, dude. And people are telling me, oh, that's shit, dude. It hits like a fucking train. I can promise you that. It's strong. So yeah, that's what we're running. In terms of a single target loadout, this is what I normally do if I am gonna go pure single target. I haven't changed everything up here. I remember. So I just need to change this guy and then we're good. So this is what I would typically run if I was single target. So as you can see, we have Quizlet, Strategist Guard, and Solar Amp. The reason why we have Solar Amp is because we need it for the I-beam. But let's do the single target here. So it's just shrapnel grenade, chain gun, I-beam, small package, menu nuke. want to show you what the other one does on a single target build as well. So we've hit a 1.6 mil. I think that's the highest we got was 1.6. I'm just going to scroll up just to double check. Yep. So 1.6 was the highest we hit on that. So it's not that great. That's why I just stick to one loadout. Let's go and hit it now with this. I don't suggest this one's going to hit as hard, but I just want to show you the numbers of just not switching, because they're not really much different. So as you can see here, we did a 1.5 mil. You guys can't see the number because I got my blur on. My bad. Chat blurring. There you go. As you can see, 1.5 mil, right? That's what we hit. And then before that, with the single target, we hit a 1.6 just over. So there's really not a lot in it. You know, you're literally talking 70k damage difference. Like, it's really minimal. So I just literally run this one build when I'm DPSing, just because I'm lazy and I can't be asked to switch. Is what it is. You know, that's how I am. Let's jump into the controller. This is where shit gets fun. So with the control, my gear's not that great. I've literally just switched back, so I had to buy a load of bombardier gear and stuff, you know. So it is what it is. And we still got our elite face on just because I didn't have I've not had a good drop yet, so I'm kind of waiting. Unless I get like a 364 or a or more drop, I'm not gonna swap it out, because this 360 ring is kind of fucking pointless. It doesn't do a lot. You know, when I can sacrifice what 176 Vite and the dominance. I don't really need the dominance, but I can sacrifice that Vite and then gain all that health, power, precision, might, you know, and weapon rating, just from running one of these rings. But I've not done it. I've just stuck with the ring for now. Is what it is. But in terms of our white mods on the controller, I've replenished an adapter. This gives us additional power back whenever we're doing weapon attacks. For our head mod, we are running the supercharged active protection system. This is our bread and butter. This puts a shield around everyone in the group, and it restores a ton of power to them. So it's a really good supercharge to be running. Escalating replenishing procs. This increases my critical power chance back to me, and whenever I use the group dump. So whenever I'm dumping the power, I get that critical chance back to me. So I restore more. That's how that works. Obviously, back mod doesn't change, stays as Berserker. Penetrating strike stays the same because they're my OP pieces. The only reason why this one changes is because I run the elite helmet as my DPS rather than running this old OP elite helmet as my head. The reason why I run it as a controller, as you can see, we get 5,000 vitalization and 7.1k dominance. So it's definitely 100% worth running as a controller. So that's why we run it as a controller. Leg mods, it doesn't really matter. You're not really using anything right here in terms, but if you were going to run the normal debuffs, I would take the laser net launcher, as that is a healer debuff, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, take that one. Obviously, hands, max damage, standard. Tumbling Master in your boots, standard. In terms of my artifacts, obviously none of mine at 200. I've got one at 163, which is my BOP. This allows me to put all 3 debuffs on the enemy just from a click of a button, so that's really handy. I take Amulet Arouse my second, and then we're going to take Brand of Hecate as our third. These 3 paired together is probably the best controller in the game. Just for the fact that you got a 1-button 3 debuff. Obviously, we all know what Amulet Arouse does. For the people that don't know what it does, when this is at 200, you are going to get the Blessing of Brow 4, which allows you to debuff up to 7 enemies. Up to 7 enemies next to that additional target. So if you debuff the boss and he's got 7 other enemies, all of them are going to be debuffed, but 1. So it only debuffs up to 7 enemies. So if you're debuffing the boss, because there's 8 people, I said that there was 8 people. You gotta be careful about that. I'm catching you out. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, if there was 6 enemies and a boss, and you debuff the boss, you're gonna debuff everything around him. So it's really, really nice to have as a controller, spreading them debuffs just from a click of a button. So that one's definitely a must. Like I say, comlink's just really handy. Just to have 1 button as a debuff, it's just nice. And Brand of Hecate's super cool as well. So what Brand of Hecate does is it does a couple of things. So it does damage over time to the enemies scaled off of my vitalization. Plus, it also scales from my might, which is really weird. It's bizarre how it works. So it can do a DOT, right? And then if I call upon Harvest Moon, right? The Harvest Moon call, it grants a stack of might and vite for each controller debuff. So like if I debuff this guy, right? He's got 3 debuffs. Right? Now I'm getting additional might and additional vite because I've got the color moon, right? I've not done the other one where every now and again you want to do it this way. But every now and again you want to close it. Right? With the tap hold from the melee. And what that does when you're in a group, what that does is it puts, I don't know why it's not showing it. Yeah, it's not showing it. Does it show it on these guys? It might show it on these guys. Nope, it's not doing it. Any of them? It's really hard to show you. So whenever you do that tap hold melee with that, right? Well, I think it's just tap actually. Yeah, it's just tap melee. So when you do that, scythes come out. So if you don't know what a scythe is, it's like what the Grim Reaper has, right? It's one of them, like, they used to use them for like weed whacking or whatever, right? So yeah, a scythe, like a couple of scythes come out and they cut the enemy. That also applies a DOT. But what it also does is it restores people with a ton of power, which is really, 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 really nice to have. So yeah, that's what we're running. So that's a really nice artifact. So obviously with the BOP you get Bird's Blitz. That's a 1-button debuff. It debuffs with all 3 debuffs. Super nice. And then we take the Blood Moon brand from the Hecate. And as you can see here, unmarked damages up to 8 enemies that are marked by Blood Moon brand for a percentage of your vitalization and might, and restores power to 3 group members. So yeah, it dumps power into people, so it's really nice. I then take shrapnel grenade launcher. Reason why I take this is because we are building superchargers. That's right. I'm technically a supercharged builder in terms of controlling. So we're still doing good debuffs. We're doing damage. I'm doing more damage with this, plus gaining supercharge. And then I take hard light shield because obviously survival's fucking ass and no one likes it. So I take hard light shield, you know. So I have a shield if I need to pick someone up and I need to prevent damage. Boom, we got shield. I also take reload. This is my power dump. This is what allows me to dump power into people on a regular. And then we take active protection. In terms of my allies, we are running Satana. So what Satana actually does is actually quite phenomenal. So she conjures a dazzling lights that damage, stun, and then reduce the enemy's damage. She's only at level 6 for me. So I'm only reducing the enemy's damage by 9% currently for 12 seconds. Dazed is good for a controller. It allows our debuffs to last on longer and stick longer. That's how Dazed is. Dazed is for controllers. It's really, really good. Whether if they've changed that or not, I don't know. But originally that was what it was. Dazed was a good effect for controllers, for debuffs and stuff. So we're reducing the boss's damage for 12 seconds by 9%. That's huge, man. That's really, really nice. You know, it's super nice that we're debuffing the boss again with a 4th debuff. So that's super good. And then obviously I take supercharge generator from Black Adam. See, now what I will say is I would change this once I get this guy up. Once I've leveled this guy up more, which we're going to be leveling him up, I'm going to change this out. So I'm not even going to run Black Adam when I get this guy up. Who we're actually going to swap this for is Death Metal Batman. I apologize for the broken window here. It's broken at the moment. They haven't fixed it yet. But we're actually going to take Death Battle Batman. And the reason why we're going to take Death Battle Batman is if you see here, it says Black Lantern, right? On his support ability. Hitting an enemy with a controller debuff drops a pool that restores 4% power, right? And defeating an enemy, you and up to 3 group members get a maximum, up to a 6% of the maximum health heal. That is very, very nice for harder content. If you're running really, really hard content, that's super good for a controller to have. Obviously, like I say, mine's only level 5. As you progress, it gets higher in terms of the power it restores, and the heal becomes more intensified. So yeah, I need to level this guy up at some point. But for now, we're going to run Black Adam for the supercharged gen. And then I take General Zod. Reason why I take General Zod is whenever I do my power dump, he, I got the wrong one on. Let's find Zod again. Trying to find these without the window is rough, dude. There he is. And then we take this one. We take activating a group power heal. Ability grants you and group members up to 2% might and 1% precision, and decreases my vitalization by -2, which isn't a lot. It's you take 2% away from me. So, you know, let's do the maps here, right? Let's do the maps here. So I've got 10k vite. So 2% of that. So let's have a look here. So we got 10,000. 200. Well, we got 101,000. Sorry. Fucking 10,000. It's early in the morning for me. Well, I'm videoing this. So yeah, 101,200, right? And then we take away 2%. So it's taken. So I go down from. So from 101,200, we go down to 99,176. So you're not really losing a lot of might. You're literally losing what? 3. So hold on. Let's do this. So 101,200 take away. Sorry, trying to copy and paste this so I have it. So take away 99,176. So we're losing 2,024 vitalization. Yeah, vitalization. So realistically, you're not losing a lot. So it's definitely worth running. Definitely worth running Zod, you know. And in terms of that, we're gaining 2% might for all the might users out there, and 1% precision. He's only level 7. If I get him to level 10, he'll probably do more. Do you know what I mean? But I'm working with what I got. So that's that. That's what we're running. In terms of our skills here, let's back into there. So obviously Birds of Blitz, Blood Moon. These are 2 artifact. So that's a debuff, and then that's our other thing. Shrapnel Grenade Launcher, Supercharged Gen, Hard Light Shield, Power Dump, Active Protection for supercharges. And that's pretty much the controller, dude. In terms of what I'm running, this doesn't change. This stays the same. It's just a buff trinket. Once I get a vitalization one, I will put a vitalization one here, like a controller one. But right now we're just taking the extra damage, because why not? That's pretty much it, man. In terms of our white mods, Tumbling Master, max damage. Like I say, legs don't matter. Chest back stays the same because obviously it changes between DPS and controller. Helmets for the active protective system, and then replenishing adapter and escalating replenishing procs. That's pretty much it, dude. That is my Munitions Might loadout / controller, what I'm using. So feel free to try it out yourself. Like, follow, subscribe. I also do stream pretty much most days over on Twitch. So go ahead and give me a follow over there as well. Come join in, come have some fun. We do play this game from time to time, but I have been playing other games. I've been playing a lot of Enshrouded lately. So I've been having fun with that. We've been playing some ESO and whatever else as well. So yeah, come swing by. You know, I don't bite. So I'll see you all there. Have a good one. Take care. Stay safe. All the best. Have a good one.